Welcome back to Restoring Sean, and today we are officially 21 episodes old. That means it's cocktail time in the guest bedroom and the office. If you're new to the channel, I post a new video every Wednesday morning where I do some sort of
wagon wheel Watusi
into all of the work that went into restoring my second house, the ranch. All opinions are my own. Never assume I have the correct answer. And did you know, if the earth were to double in size, all trees would fall over? That's because if the earth doubled in size, gravity doubles in strength, and we would also break our legs when we went running. Let's get started. We are halfway through the ranch already, and I am so excited about that I could just spit. That being said, I've got something else to tell you. Not only will this be the second shortest video of the season, but we're gonna start with a pretty finished looking room because, as previously stated, and no, I'm not embarrassed by it, I do not have a single before picture of the office or the guest bedroom. I previously mentioned in the game plan of this house how these two rooms in particular swapped and swapped places more than once. But I'll get into it more here. That end of the ranch was considered the east wing because the front of the house faced south, and directionally that made it the east wing. The northeast room was going to be my office, and through a series of events, it ended up becoming the guest bedroom by the time I moved out. Similarly, in the southeast room, what started as the guest bedroom ended up being my office. Today we're going to start with the northeast room. And as a reminder, these rooms were only painted white when I moved in, so you're not missing out on anything by not seeing that. For the ranch, in contrast to the manor, I was going to explore a wider variety of colors rather than the black, gray, white, and a few shades of bluish green that I had before. I did not put a ton of forethought into the colors. They were very spin of the wheel, I like this choices. In the northeast room, which was to be my home office, I wanted to continue the feeling of having a more personal and fun space. This being where I would hang the photos of friends and family and some artwork that meant a little bit more to me rather than what I would hang in the public space of the house, like the living room and the kitchen. I wanted an accent wall, which should have been my first indicator that this was not going to look good. And for that, I chose Cascades by Sherwin-Williams, which is a really pretty dark teal color. For the other three walls in the room, to keep it lighter, I chose natural linen, which in that space was just another boring white color. I enjoyed Cascades, but ultimately it was incredibly dark, and combined with the color of my furniture that I had for that room, the vibe just felt off. Here's a video from after I had already painted everything and I was working on my gallery wall. I today did my office gallery wall like that. So it's still a mess in here, but it's coming together. I think I need like 4-ish more frames. There's my Austin one from when I moved down there. But yeah, that's what I did. I'd seen linear gallery walls before where the frames almost, if not literally, bump up against each other, and I really enjoyed that kind of constructed chaos like in this photo here. But in this photo, you still have an organized message with the prints that are inside the frames where everything is, botanical and leaning toward nature. In mine, it was haphazard at best, and it just didn't really look or feel great. Coupled with the lower ceiling, it just felt heavy up there, and in a way it removed itself from the rest of the room. I don't have many videos in that space from before it changed again, but I do have this one. I haven't mentioned this before, but Brooklyn Park actually has a big issue with stray cats. I experienced it a little bit at this house, but mostly what I experienced was the neighbor's cat coming over for very frequent visits. And we would have a lot of interactions like this. We've got a little friend here, and someone's not happy. Oh, they're already gone. Hello, did you see your friend? Those are the kids next door. I actually like hearing them scream. Enjoy. About 8 months after painting the room and just leaving it as it was, which was the Cascades color, my friend Andrew moved in, and since he worked from home, we decided to combine his office with mine because he didn't want to be stuck in the basement, which was not finished, and I was not going to be giving up the guest bedroom. In an effort to make the office less all about me, I took down all of the frames and decided that because I liked the board and batten that I had done so much in the guest bathroom, I was going to do it in here. And in doing that, I was going to be repainting the entire room since I didn't love the colors. This time, I went with the Sherwin-Williams color of the year for 2022, which was Evergreen Fog. This is a really pretty grayish green color, and it's a wonderful neutral for your space that sort of takes on different tones and shades of color as the daylight that is shining on it changes. I painted this color on all walls before installing the wood trim pieces for the board and batten. Once the wood was up, I caulked any gaps and holes, and then I started priming it all before painting it in pure white enamel trim paint. Another thing I did was design the board and batten in a way that that top strip had a ledge in it, and behind that ledge was a gap. This was so that I could run an adhesive strip of LED lighting behind it that would be fully concealed. I had fully embraced colored lighting while living at the ranch, and this was another effort on my part to continue that lighting. It wasn't executed as perfectly as I would have liked, but I did enjoy the effect that it had. With the lighting installed and our desks facing each other, we shared the space for a few months until the basement had been refinished in January of 2022. At that point, I relocated the current guest bedroom in the southeast room to the now finished basement, and then I moved my desk and all the bits into that space. In July of 2022, when Andrew moved out, rather than leave that space empty, I hauled all of the guest bedroom furniture back upstairs to put into that room. Compared to the original form of the guest bedroom, which you're going to see in a moment, this worked beautifully. With the white wall against that soft green, the wood accents coupled with the black bed frame and floating shelves, it all worked out. When it was time to sell, I decided to style my bookshelf. And let it be said, I do not condone styling your bookshelves in a way where all of the pages are facing outward, especially if they're books that you actually read. It's just dumb. It's a stupid thing to do. Partly because it was like a trend for a moment, which, yes, I did jump on the trend for these pictures, but you can't find the books you want to read, so what's the point of doing that? However, for the sake of staging the house and the professional photographer that was coming, I spun my books and added some accessories to the bookcase to make it neutral, clean, and interesting, rather than the myriad of colors that the book spines would show. But again, I do not condone this. The listing photos turned out beautiful for the guest bedroom. The natural lighting was good and the electrical lighting looked great. This weird combination of classic and modern. I had painted the closet doors and replaced the hardware. I'd also spray painted the air register and the intake, which you can see at the bottom of the image. Just a nice white. It was a cozy little room with views of the arborvitae and gray fence outside, and being tucked at the end of the hallway now, it was nice and private for guests because if they were going from the bathroom into that room, you weren't going to see them from the living room. So now it's time to go to the southeast room. I mentioned that for this house, my exploration into color was a major driving force behind my decision making. They weren't very well thought out, specifically in relation to my furniture and the colors of said furniture, but still they were colors that I thought this would be really cool. For this room, that color was going to be Peach Blossom by Sherwin-Williams. I'd seen a few pictures on Pinterest of peach-colored rooms, and I really liked how warm and cozy they look. So at that point in time, back in 2020, I figured it was as easy as painting the color. Unfortunately, it wasn't, because a lot of things really need to be taken into account when you're executing some of these choices. The ceiling texture is a big one, and since I had popcorn ceilings, I didn't realize how much they would immediately date something. The natural light in the room was always a cool tone, and that affected the warm feeling and dulled it down. The ceiling fan was shiny brass and from the early 90s, which was another poor aesthetic. So ultimately, with my black and white bedding and my black, more modern looking furniture pieces, it did not look like my inspiration photos. Instead, it looked like this. It's not god-awful by any means. I'm not trying to be a brat about it. I just didn't love it. Peach Blossom was the color I settled on because it was a little bit more orange than it was pink, and I did not want a pink room. And even having Diego up on the wall there with a fun cranberry wreath for the holidays, that didn't save the color. Paolo didn't like it much either, as he would hide under the bed when I had guests and scream and hiss at them from there. So that's fun. I could have fixed all of this by painting all of the trim a different color, swapping out that ceiling fan with something better or more modern looking, and then getting rid of all the popcorn ceilings, but due to budgetary constraints, I couldn't do it. In November of 2021, about a year after I had painted it peach, I wanted to paint it again. I had already done my makeover of the office, and since it had gone so well with the board and batten, I decided I was going to do it in here as well. It all starts with a single piece of wood, and then that quickly evolves into many. Once the wood was all up and in place, I'd done it a little backward in here. Instead of painting the new color first, I painted it after the wood was installed to cover the peach blossom. And the color I chose was, of course, another Sherwin-Williams color, and it was Respite Blue, which is just, it's like a grayish light blue. It's just blue. As I said, nothing was thought through. So that started going up, and I immediately felt better about the direction of the color. I would never love this color by any means, but I liked it more than the peach, and that's what mattered. Once it was up, cutting in carefully along the ceiling and around the drapery rods that I was too lazy to take down, I caulked the wood pieces and then started slapping the pure white trim paint on this wall. I do wonder in hindsight if I had done the board and batten in white like this and kept the peach, if I would have been more comfortable with the peach color, but I think as it was, it felt like I had a boy room and a girl room, and I did not like that distinction. It didn't feel good. At first, the guest room was just put back in place with new floating shelves and some faux succulents on them. It was, again, fine, but it was short-lived, as after Christmas, I would be moving my office in here. Oh, hey, look, my office. This was actually a year later, after already rearranging the room because my desk originally had jutted out into the middle of the room. This photo is from November of 2022, and I was now working from home, having left retail just a week earlier. I continued the LED lighting in here as well. I decorated a bit for Christmas and added some more artwork from this great artist you can find on Etsy called Macmillan Kid. His tag is right below right now, and it's also the tag for Instagram, so make sure you check him out. I had some new furniture delivered that December as well. My Remy armchair in carbon velvet from Pottery Barn that I had purchased when I quit that summer. Working from home was interesting because the cats didn't really know what to make of it. Paolo always wanted to be sitting on my lap, and Sophia was always coming around for attention and yowling at me. Usually before, if I was home, it was my time to spend with the cats. But now that I was there all the time, it took a while for them to understand that I was there and they didn't need to beg for my attention. I was just always going to be there. But they loved that Remy armchair and taking naps on it while I worked. And my heart just felt full working from home and getting to be around them. When it was time to start staging the house for photos, I had to start editing myself, and that meant removing a whole bunch of the personal stuff, cleaning up the walls by patching any nail holes and painting them, and ultimately making the space look simpler. The result was your standard home office. No thrills, really. The closet doors in here had been replaced with a set of mirrored closet doors from the primary bedroom, which I'll explain more about next week. I painted the glass and added a trim piece that ran down the middle of them. It looked dumb, but I did what I could with what I had. For what it was, the office turned out nice. I remember it was always cold in there that winter, this side of the house being the furthest from the furnace, but I had a fancy little space heater and that helped with that. After the house had sold and I had packed up my shit and gotten out, I took one final photo of the guest bedroom. I don't know why I felt compelled to take these final after shots, other than to remind myself of what it was when I left and to make up for not taking them when I moved in. Who knows? Not me. But what I do know is that is all I've got for you right now. Told you it'd be another short episode. Thank you so much for watching today as we went through the flip-flopping of the rooms in the east wing of the ranch. If you have any questions or comments on anything that you saw in the video today, please drop them below. And while you're at it, click the like button because it helps me out. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button because that helps you out. That way you'll be reminded every Wednesday morning when a new episode drops, like next week when we move into the west wing of the house and the primary suite in episode 22 of Restoring Sean. Until then, take care and I will see you soon.